first principle
Hmm.
that can help you navigate through things and difficult times and the difficult people. I think the first thing is, see, you have to come with an understanding that I have nothing to lose.
Hmm.
So that, I think that's point one.
Hmm.
So the moment you come with that understanding and thought that you have nothing to lose,
Hmm.
a lot of opportunities open up.
Hmm.
A lot of thoughts which could have hindered your
Hmm.
um, next step
Hmm.
or could have limited your um, challenging attitude
Hmm.
can be just eliminated from your thought.
Hmm.
So I think the first principle is that I have nothing to lose. So I'm open to anything, that kind. Second, I think, which I have actually done on page and paper, like with paper and pen I have done that in life, is to calculate your cost of living.
Hmm.
I've actually done that
Oh, okay.
with paper and pen.
Okay.
To calculate the cost of living and keep it to the bare minimum.
Mm-hmm.
The moment you put it at the bare minimum, I told people earlier also that that's your key to freedom. The moment you realize that your week, 1 week earning or 2 weeks earning is sufficient to take care, then the other 2 weeks are your freedom. So I think that's very important. The moment you are able to figure out this materialistic demand of life, and you are able to figure out the amount of energy, time, mind that needs to be spent for that, and at the initial stage of your career it might be a little difficult, but as you grow those calculations can actually be done, and the amount of time, energy required to take care of that aspect, and that aspect is also not a kind of a freezed amount. It also evolves, grows a little, but if you are progressing in the right way, you'll realize that your progression will always it will be able to decrease the percentage of time, energy required to match with your bare minimum. So while the amount of bare minimum will increase depending on your stature and work and all those things, it will always remain a bare minimum only comparatively in different phases of life. And now that is a very key, very big challenge. A lot of the youngsters these days are stuck because they are not able to, जो कहते हैं ना कि वो अपने चादर में पैर समेट नहीं पा रहे.
Since childhood.
So I think that is principle number 2, that you need to know your bare minimum, stick to it, and then you get that freedom, time, energy to explore. Now that exploration is what makes an individual different from the crowd who are into this rat race, me, my EMI wala concept. So I think that these are two very fundamental. Third is that it's a very complex, simple but complex understanding that while you have to be self-centered as to what you do, what you think, what you believe, what you want to achieve, but that self-centric should not lead to being a selfish individual. So while you have to, so this is a kind of, you have to coexist within the larger society, but you have to still remain a very self-centered, not in terms of engaging with different people for self-centered gains and goals, but a lot of value issues. You have to be very individualistic, very personal on that, strong enough that nobody can influence it. Because the whole attempt of the world is what? They want to have an impact on you. They want to have an influence on you. I think that's the key. And that having an impact and influence can be your own mother, own father.
Yeah, obviously.
So-
That's how it starts.
So how you keep yourself away from those, and once you start practicing all these basics, and these are not easy ones. So once you start, practicing all these, you will lately realize that your sharpness in identifying conversations which can influence you positively or otherwise, your sharpness will become so high that somebody utters the first word and you will just make out where it will go, and you can immediately shut. You can immediately shut yourself from allowing that conversation which might be probably not positive or creative or opening more worlds for you, from even entering your mind space. And that's fun. That's real fun. Where-
I've seen you do it.
Where you, from the first word, you just make out key. You are able to then predict what will be the
I've
one
seen you
line,
do
second
it.
line, third line, and you can categorize people. You can actually categorize what kind of conversation people do. So most of the people, there was a very beautiful quote that the three kinds of people: one talking about ideas, the other talking about events, and third talking about people, individual, and then the fourth talking about their own material successes. So you can just figure out these four categories. The least graded are those people who count their success with regard to material gains, and then you go from people, then event, and finally people with ideas. So the moment you categorize